type it yes into the chat box, I would really appreciate it. Okay, thank you, Alia. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you everyone who's here today, and yeah, very excited to be here with you today and teach this how to put an end to challenging behavior masterclass. Will probably more people will be joining, but we'll get started. So just a quick introduction about me. My name is Safia. I live in Reading with my husband and 3 children. 2 years ago, I discovered the inside out paradigm, which transformed my whole life. And the best part about going through the transformation was the insight I had into parenting, which gave me the ability to parent quite effortlessly. And so I decided to train with highly successful coaches, Mamoon and Alia, and to become a parenting coach. And my life's mission has become to share these insights I've had into parenting and help other parents to make parenting more effortless. So what will we cover today? First of all, I thought we'll have a quick look into what is actually challenging behavior to you and to me. Then we'll have a deep dive into a deep reason behind challenging behavior, rather than just looking at it as a surface outcome. What could be a deeper reason behind the behavior? Then we'll look into master parenting skill, and why did I call it the little known skill? Because it's not based on how we feel about our children, but about the bigger picture. Who are the 2 people children listen to? And then we'll have a look at what is the difference between habit and behavior that helps us to shift these challenges we have with children's behavior. Okay, so first of all, what is challenging behavior? I can tell you what is to me, but I'd love to know what it is to you. So please just type in some quick answers into the chat box. So yeah, just let me know in the chat box what is challenging behavior to you, or what is the top behavior you're dealing with right now with your kids. Yeah, Amira is asking, will we receive the slides? Yeah, you will, or everybody who's here registered will receive the full recording of this seminar, so you can rewatch it. Or yeah, non-compliant. Okay. Anybody else would like to share? We can share the ones that I've listed. No, okay. Angry children who sulk. Yes. I like that, the way you put that. So some, I have to close the chat box. I have to close the chat box to, okay. So yeah, not listening, ignoring, fighting with siblings, back talk, disrespectful language, tones. And there's always the question for us parenting, which behavior should we correct and which one can we let go, which is always a tricky one. But yeah, let me just have a quick look in the chat box again. Anybody else? Sometimes they ignore me. Thank you for sharing the slides. Okay, that's great. Yeah, so I think we all have probably similar challenges or come across one or the other. And with challenging behavior, it's interesting. Often it is just an honest expression of whatever state they're in that moment. And yeah, an interesting example which really puts a different spin on the whole what is actually challenging behavior is just to tell you a quick story. My daughter, she had a friend over, and I think she wanted some biscuits, and I said for some reason or the other no at that time, and she was 8 and she threw herself on the floor and banged her fist, like had a full-blown tantrum saying, all my mommy wants is for us to eat healthy. And so I called it a healthy eating tantrum, and her friend was really like, what is this? But it's interesting, like in a way you could see that, oh, that is, what kind of behavior is that from an 8-year-old? But that's just how she expressed it in that moment. And if you look at it, what she was saying wasn't actually a problem, but the way she was expressing it was obviously for her, that's how she felt in that moment, and she expressed it in that way. Okay. And the other thing we always, I think, do need to ask ourselves is, do children behave badly deliberately? Do they, actually, or do they not know how to behave in that moment, or did they just forget, or is it really deliberate? Then the next part, I guess we would move on to is wondering, where does challenging or bad behavior actually come from? Does it come from because if you look at it, no baby or young child is born with bad behavior or challenging behavior. They're all born innocently. So where does it come from? How does it develop? Is it just from them watching our examples? They watching our every move and then absorbing it and copying it? And yes, in one way it is. If we show our children again and again how we deal with the same situation, it will start looking normal to them how to behave in certain situations that are repeated anyway. And I think most parents can relate to spills happen often at table, whatever, while eating. And if we really put the effort in to show them that every time a spill happens, we just clean it up in a collective and calm way, that is one of the learned behaviors they will keep for long term. The other question is, does it come from our limiting beliefs? A client recently asked me that, saying, why do families think similarly or have similar values, and is it passed on or not? It's an interesting question. I think some things we do pass on, some things are similar, some things are not. But if you look at family dynamics overall, even there's many siblings, there's many different personalities, many different behaviors, and you will find every child having their own character and their own sort of behavior challenges. So it is not always that it comes from the limiting beliefs or that it's passed on, because behavior is often just lack of self-control, because children's experience of life is still developing. So they haven't come across many situations. They're still developing the control on how to deal with different situations. And often they just react without thinking. Um, uh, Again, there's just a lack of how to handle themselves, and that's where the what we discussed in whoever was here in the last class about being a facilitator of helping them to handle the whatever situations they need to handle. So reacting without thinking is very common for, I put toddlers and teenagers because for toddlers, they are in that stage where they want to express a lot, but they don't have the language to actually yet express themselves. So that's why it comes out in certain behaviors. And teenagers, again, they're going through a lot of changes, through a lot of growth, through a lot of curiosities and growth in their life. And often they don't know how to deal with all that, so they just react to things without thinking. And sometimes more often actually, it's there's no reason at all. uh, we might, be able to ask the children, oh, why did you behave like that, or why did you do that? And sometimes they might have an answer, but often they won't know because that moment has passed for them, and they just did whatever made sense to them in that moment. And if they haven't had training before or the tools to deal with that situation, then they wouldn't have known any better.